What's going on, everybody? My name is Tamar Turner, and I am the host of the Down to Business podcast, where the mission is to really provide exposure to businesses, entrepreneurs, and artists all around the world in their respective crafts. And we do so through audio and visual interviews where we come on and we talk about all things from getting into the business to most memorable moments to even some advice that you may give for other business owners and entrepreneurs out there. So if this sounds like something that you would be interested in, we'd love to have you on for an interview. Please be sure to reach out via any social media platform and we'll definitely get back to you. But until then, enjoy this episode. What's going on, everybody? Just want to welcome you back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner. And man, this another good one. I really don't think we've ever put out, I guess I'm going to just be a little biased. I really don't think we've ever put out a bad episode, to be honest. But maybe that's just me speaking. But I feel like, just listening to this podcast, just really going through all the episodes at this point, I feel like it's a gem for everybody. I feel like it's something out there that even if you're not a business owner, even if you're not an entrepreneur, a creative, anything like that in that space, I feel like you can still take something from that, because I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of these people still live real lives. Like, well, not a lot, all of them, still live real lives, still live day in and day out. So they definitely are just going to give you the real, the in, the out, and everything like that. So I appreciate those who, continuously tap in with us, continuously show us the feedback, leave us ratings, reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and things like that. It all means so much to me. So very excited to be sitting down today with Sydney, somebody who honestly I knew growing up. Like, I wouldn't really say like we was like the best of friends or anything like that, but we wasn't like no enemies or anything like that. But just somebody who, you just saw around, somebody in the community, somebody who just in between like playing sports growing up and just different things like that, you were able to just interact with and see. But obviously, as people grow older and different things like that and just go about their different paths, things just happen like that. But that's not to say, we ever really lost contact. She definitely has still done some great things. A lot of these things, I've been able to keep up with social media. And so I'm very excited, to be sitting down with her today. Very excited for her to get into really why she's on the podcast today. So Sydney, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, hopping on here. And I think that people definitely going to appreciate what you got to say. So, for those tapping in who may be new to the podcast, for those tapping in who may be returned and may not know you or anything like that, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and then what brings you on the podcast today?
Sure. So I'm currently an assistant buyer. I went to college for fashion. That has always been like my goal. And I currently own a business called Ask Syd, which I kind of created just because I was always in fashion school or in some type of like business. People always ask me their opinions on things or ask me to help them, as far as styling or help grow their business. So I just created a business based off of that. It's not completely fashion related, like it's with any, type of startup business. And yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Got you. I got you. So already off the rip, you kind of said a term that's a little bit foreign to me now. Somebody else might know or anything like that. But for somebody else out there, hearing that term assistant buyer, can you just explain a little bit what that is and what does that actually entail for you?
Yeah, sure. So for brands or like retailers, clothing stores or whatever that don't create or don't design their own clothes, they source them from other vendors. So vendors that like, for example, I was working for Foreman Mills. So, growing up in Foreman Mills, they carry like Rockefeller Rockaware. I can't think of the other places. Who cares? But brands like that, Nike, Adidas, Puma brands. So some me as an assistant buyer when I was at Foreman Mills, I would reach out to Nike or Puma or Adidas, whoever was selling their clothes, and purchase them to sell them in Foreman Mills. And then from an assistant buyer, you have the buyers, and it just goes up and up. So yeah, it's kind of like just the it's not an entry level position. It's like an associate position, but you're really like that's the position where you're really in the fashion industry.
Got you. Got you. That makes a lot more sense. So now, kind of at the position that you're in right now, what does really a long-term goal look like for you when it comes to like fashion, when it comes to really just being in this set industry right now?
Wow, that's a great question. Because honestly, I never wanted to be a buyer. I never wanted to do the business side of fashion. I always grew up wanting to be a designer and just be creative and stuff. And it wasn't until I got to my second college. I graduated from LIM College in New York City, and it's a completely fashion business school. They only have like six majors or whatever, and one of the tracks in the college is to be in buying. and I wanted to do something more creative like product development or styling or something. Like I really didn't care about buying because I felt like it was too much math. I wasn't a math person at all. And then I had to take a buying and merchandising math class, and I loved it. But my school was like, oh, you're not going to become a buyer. You can't become a buyer unless you take you take the specific classes for that. So, coming right out of college, I was a little discouraged thinking maybe that wasn't possible for me. And still always had in the back of my mind that I would create a fashion brand, which that's like been my ultimate goal. So what I decided to do was to still learn the business, do some apprenticeship at other companies that are doing well just to see how they run their business. So my long-term goal can be successful with me learning from somebody else's mistake and on their dime.
Oh, for sure. I love that. I love to hear, when the odds are stacked against you, but yeah, you still find a way to beat them, still find a way to prevail, still find a way to make things happen. And I love how sometimes that just going to college, not necessarily always with it, but with just experiencing new things, with placing yourself in different environments, with being in new cities, with being around new people, how it can just, invoke things in you that you never really knew that you had a passion for necessarily. Because like you said, you weren't always on the path of wanting to be a buyer. And then on
Yeah.
top of that, people, didn't even say, they said that that's not going to happen for you. And now look at you. And then now look at kind of what that did for your vision and really the long term goal. So I love to hear that. I love the progression and definitely excited, to see what comes forward from that. So kind of what you spoke about in the beginning was Ask Syd, and how basically people would really just come to you from friends to just anybody about just different advice and everything like that. So that's kind of why you got started. That's kind of how things formulated. So what were some of your first steps as really establishing yourself as a business and coming into business to, help other people officially?
Well, back in 2017, I started a sunglass line. And I kind of started that because I've always had a thing for sunglasses. I love that like style piece for anybody, honestly. In college, we always had to create like a fake business or like a storefront and design the bags that would go with it or the product, stuff like that. So having to do that so much in college, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna turn this project into an actual business. But I did it just for the sole purpose to see like if I could run a business. So I was again buying the sunglasses because I wasn't creating them myself. And at the time, since I lived in New York, I would go to the vendors, buy sunglasses, rename them. I scheduled the photo shoot. I did the production for the photo shoot. All my friends, I grabbed them and we were all models for the photo shoot. I created the logo, I created the flyers, the website, the Instagram. Like I literally did everything just to see if I could. And at the time I was 21 and really just, I don't know if it's cuz I was in school or because the summer was about to start, but I just felt like I wanted to do more and see if I can handle, school, work, and a business. So all of summer, I really worked on my brand for my sunglasses, and I didn't continue it because of school and of work, and I was interning too. But I really, like I said, solely did it just to see if I could. So having that skill of knowing whenever I want to continue or whenever I want to start a business, I already know what to do and do a trial run. So from there, that was 2017. In 2018, I started interning at a boutique in Philly called Black Skirt, and the woman that owns Black Skirt, Miss Sherry, she wanted to start selling sunglasses in her store. And she was someone I looked up to. Like she ran her own business. She was a designer. She was a buyer. She was everything for her own business. And I remember talking to her and her husband, and they were just asking me like, well, how did you go about getting these sunglasses? Because they wanted some and they wanted to brand them and they had their own business idea. And with me being her intern, she would always just ask me since I was in school and I had to learn like Photoshop or Illustrator, things like that. She always put me to the test of like, okay, well, how can I create this flyer that will, target her customers? Or how can I market this? Or what type of woman should wear this item? Things like that. So it really started with her because it, even after me interning for her, she would still ask me questions. And the people around me would be like, you need to start, charging people for your thoughts and your creativity. But I've never really been that type of person. Like I'm the type of person I put people on without them having to ask. I don't feel like, somebody should really have to pay me if because I'm just, going to give them that knowledge anyway. But, that was 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm graduated college. I done worked in two really good companies, or as in the corporate office, I'm gonna say, and I have so much knowledge that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to start charging people. Like, y'all gonna have to start paying me for my creativity and my and everything in my knowledge. So that's how that started.
Absolutely. It's one thing, to just be that resource for people. Just always be there. Just but it's almost like it's second nature to you. Like you said, you just did it just because. Like without people asking, just if you saw an opportunity present itself, you took advantage of it. And I agree with that. And I definitely do stand by that look. It's just to the point now where it's no reason why we shouldn't be helping each other out in any way that we can, in any form or any fashion. Even if it's, for me, it's even strangers. Like if even if it's just a
Yeah,
social media interaction thing, I'm sending pages to different people. I'm
yeah,
linking people together just because that's what it's about. But I
yeah,
also think that it's important too when other people recognize something in you, other people recognize more potential, and realize that you're not all about the money. But at the same time, look, if you can be making, it's so much money out here. It's so many ways to, people are earning sponsorships by the day. People are going viral next day, getting signed, popping up in commercials, different things. Like the possibilities are endless. So I definitely think that it's also important too that when other people recognize your skill, when other people hone in on it and want better for you, that it's important to really step into that field and take advantage of that. But I love, and I think it only will breed more success just because your reason for going into business, your reason for really getting things started has nothing to do with monetary. Obviously, monetary will be a plus for you. The success is going to speak for itself, but I think that that's important. So kind of coming into business now, the fact that you were able to even start a previous business and kind of see how things ran, and even we're told that you were not only got inspiration from somebody else, but we're told that basically you were their inspiration for kind of wanting to do certain things and move into certain lanes. How has it really been, running Ask Syd? Is this something that I know you said with the sunglasses, it was more so you were kind of organized and everything. So it really sounds like you were like a one woman army in a sense, like really getting things together from promotion to marketing. Obviously, you had great friends and probably a great support system with your family as well. But a lot of this, the grunt work, a lot of the day in and day out was you. So how is it really now with you running Ask Syd? Is this something that you really do like solely by yourself? Are you looking to kind of expand? What is that process like for you?
So for me right now, it's a lot of still brainstorming. Like a lot of times ideas will come to me and I write them down. I keep like an actual physical journal, or if I don't have it with me, I keep my phone with me, just to jot down like certain things, like for this whole year. Because honestly, I've been trying to start exit for maybe 2 years, but I'm so picky on things for me, where like I couldn't decide on the colors, I couldn't decide on the logos. I had like three people in the last, no, probably not even three, maybe like five people, like maybe a few of them was some that I knew. Then I went on Fiverr. Like I reached out to so many people to make me a logo. I didn't like none of them. So that was just money wasted on logos. And I finally sat down with myself to figure that out. And I just created it because it just seemed like I kept telling people, like, this is how I want it. This is how I want it done. But how I wanted it done wasn't how it was getting done. So I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. And again, it's still really just solely me. But of course, the person that I am, I want people to join me. Like my younger cousin, she just graduated high school and she's actually going to the college that I went to. And when she was preparing and like applying to colleges, like I was teaching her how to sketch. I was teaching her, terms in the fashion industry, taking her to New York with me and stuff, just so she could see, what it's like. And I spoke to her about becoming an intern for me because at her school, or well, at my former college, you have to do 3 internships to in order to graduate. So I was like, if you come intern for me, of course I'm going to sign off on that, and they're going to sign off on that, and I'm going to teach you everything that I know that maybe I didn't learn in school and that I had to get like hands-on work with. But as of right now, Ask Syd is like solely me still trying to figure out like all the things that I want to offer, because I also, my friends were like telling me to offer like a fitness program also, because I work out a lot. And it's just so many possibilities. I really just have to, each day I take like 2 hours out of my day to sit down and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to work on for Ask Syd today, because it's been a very long time coming with this.
And I think that's too, that'll really speak to later down the line. You know, when things are really up and running, when you're this world renowned, like it kind of almost made me think of like way back in the day, a throwback Ask Jeeves, like how it was at one point. Some people didn't even know like Google wasn't even the first go to. It was, we was on Ask Jeeves, like because they was, it was interactive. It was, you know, sometimes they got funny with it. It was cool. Like we wasn't worried about no Bing or nothing like that. It was really Ask Jeeves, and that was something. It was a staple. It was a trademark. It's, you could tell it was that much of an impact. The fact that I still remember it to this day. I couldn't even tell you what year Ask Jeeves came out, but no, it's a throwback for sure. But I definitely think that the process is important with anything. It's really just important to go through things, to tell yourself that it was crazy. As you were saying, I'm picky. Like I was looking at different logos and different things like that. I was shaking my head and agreeing with you. Like, yes, like I felt myself as the same way at some point. Like I just kept making, I'm gonna call them excuses because that's really what they were at some point. It was just like, yo, are you trying to start this or are you not? Like, yes, granted, I don't want to just put out anything, and I'm not just going to put out anything, but at the same time, you have to put out something. Like, you have to get there that way. Like, because how I think about it now, too, looking back on it, if I would have tried to put out the best thing that I could, the absolute best, like 99%, because obviously it wouldn't have been perfect, but 99%, well, where do I go from there? How much
Right.
better do I continue? You know, you have to. So that's not to say you put out less quality work or anything like that. But sometimes, look, I felt like I was looking at my logos too long, just trying to find something wrong with it. I felt like I was listening to my voice too much, not liking the sound of it, to the point where I sent my first episode to other people and they're like, yo, this sounds good. I'm like, bro, this sounds trash. Like, you sure? Like, did you listen to the same episode that I listened to? This does not sound good. But in a sense, it was just like I had to realize that yes, I'm doing this for me. I have a lot of fun with this and I love what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, other people are gonna have different perspectives about what you do. Other people are gonna be looking at it, you know, with a different eye, with a different lens. Where I say it all the time, we're our worst critics. So naturally, yeah, we're gonna beat ourselves up. I could record a great episode, but go back and listen to it and like that. Well, why did I say so much? Why was I stuttering so much? Why can't
Yeah,
I hear
you're
myself?
always going to pick yourself
Yeah.
apart. I literally, my friends that are especially my business friends, like I'll talk to them about certain things. Like one of my friends from college, I talk to her all the time because she has a skincare business and she'll ask me certain things, send me certain like labels or fragrances. She'll send me samples of her products. And I'm like, post this right now. Like, this is great. I love it. It's going to do well. But if she says that to me, like she's the one that told me I should start offering a fitness line or like a fitness program. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think, my body is up there yet. I don't think, my skills is up there yet. She like, girl, just do it. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, even with the magazine that I was featured in, one of my other friends from college, she put me onto that. And I honestly forgot all about that interview. I forgot that I even spoke on Ask Syd, and then when the magazine came out, I'm like, well, damn, I'm gonna have to post about the business now. Like I still wasn't ready. I still wasn't gonna say nothing, but sometimes circumstances force you to because it's your time. Like you gotta stop critiquing yourself and just know, like, if you don't like it right now, you'll like it later because you're gonna grow with your business. Like look at a lot of Instagram of I watch like a lot of brands and how they grow and stuff. And I saw this one Instagram post, like all the designer brands, like how their logo used to look when they first came out to how it looks now. Like even the Instagram logo, it doesn't look the same as it was in 2010 or 2011, wherever it came out. Like you're always going to grow with it. So that's why you kind of just got to start now. But when you think to yourself like start right now, you don't want to, you be like, no, it's not ready, it's not perfect yet, and don't nobody care. Like people going to buy it or support it because of you regardless.
Crazy. And that's the crazy truth though. It's just like, and once I realized that, it was like, oh, you can't stop me now. I'm gonna put out anything that
Mhm.
not, and not, that's like I said, not just to say that I'm just throwing stuff out there just because. No, I definitely still am strategic. I definitely still do take my time with things. I definitely still do want things to be perfect. Y'all should see me when I'm editing. I'm like a madman sometimes. Like I'm just constantly rewinding. I'm sucking my teeth. Like, why am I like, what was going on? Because at the end of the day, I just want this to be quality. I'm playing with audio levels and listening to stuff back, second guessing, deleting stuff. So, but you're absolutely right. Once you realize that, the support is just going to be there, and if it's not there, that's no knock on you. It's not to say that your abilities aren't up there. Look, everybody doesn't get the support. People put out, Drake is one of my favorite, well, he's my favorite artist, like top artist. But has he put out stuff out there that I didn't support? Absolutely. Like trash.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like I don't like this. Like it's a throwaway, like whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, yes, I have to. Am I going to stop supporting Drake? No. When he comes out with something fire, am I going to hop right back on and say, yeah,
Absolutely.
this the dude? Yes, absolutely. So it's just like, yeah, you could. Everybody has waves and different things like that. Like you could just be putting out fire, 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 fire. You drop something, maybe everybody doesn't resonate it with the same way. Maybe you don't get the same sales and everything that you were once expecting or once had. That's still, you should want to come back harder. You shouldn't take that as,
Right.
oh no, I did something wrong, or I'm not. No, you just, that look, they just didn't rock with that. It just wasn't for that market. Somebody else probably bought it. Maybe instead of 10 people this time, you got 5 people. That's still support. It's still showing that, they see the vision, they see the potential. So my question to you really, it just makes me think about everything that you kind of just said. Well, what do you say to somebody like that who is just so hard on themselves? What do you say to somebody who is just having a hard time getting started with something, who is really just critiquing himself to no end, to the point where, it's hard for them to drop things? What do you say to somebody, who really might just need that kick or that push to really just get things going and up off the ground?
Well, one thing about me, I don't like to be rushed to do anything. I'm very much like I move at my own time because my time is on God's time and that time is always on time. So I never like tell somebody like you need to do this right now or force them or rush them because I know how that feels for me. And I feel like if I'm rushed to do something and I don't really want to, I'm not going to, it's like my care for it is going to go down. What I will say, I do work well under pressure, but maybe not everybody works that way. Like I know I was having a conversation with one of my friends a few weeks ago and they were just talking about, going back to school and, trying to figure out what they wanted to do in life. And I'm like, it's going to come to you. Don't sit here and beat yourself up on like what you should do, what business you should start because running around trying to figure out what you want to do, you're going to do something just because and you're not going to be happy with it. Like you should do it because you want to, because this is something that you want, this is a goal you see for yourself. Even like for some people, like okay, you think the money going to make you happy, then go ahead, pursue the money of it. And if it doesn't work out, you can always do something else. And I know that was something I had to learn recently. Like I kept feeling like, well, even though Ask Syd isn't necessarily fashion based and I always wanted to work in the fashion industry, I felt like I was letting the little girl in me down. And it's like, no, you're allowed to grow up and change your mind on things you wanted to do. You don't have to, stick with this. And I think that's something else for people to know. Like, okay, just because when you were 5, you wanted to be a doctor and now you want to own rental property, you can do both or you can do one. Like, you have to do what's going to satisfy you right now. And that's why I don't think people should rush into things because people, with social media these days, people feel like they got to be up and they got to have this now and do this and da da da. They're not patient. They don't, they just want everything quick and fast. And that deteriorates the quality of whatever they're trying to pursue. So I always just tell people to be patient and just, it's going to come to them no matter how. Like if it's meant for them, it's not going to pass them by. It's definitely going to come to them.
Patience, man. It almost might sound cliche to some people, but it's truly it pays dividends in the end. It really does. Just recognizing that you have to love and appreciate the process, man. I feel like the quicker, not even the quicker, but the more genuine love and appreciation that you have for it, the further it'll take you. The sooner that you recognize that, I'm supposed to fail. No, I wasn't born to fail, but I say it all the time. Look, if you won everything, life wouldn't be exciting. There would be nothing to look forward to. If everything you just put out was just hot, was just fire, was just nobody is doing that. People have put out bad things, like people, bad movies, bad songs, bad shows, bad reviews, bad commentary, had bad games, whatever. It makes you want to grind more. It makes you want to go hard. It makes you never want to get, to that point again in your life. But you have to recognize that it happens. Where do I go from here? Not, oh, this is the end. This is it. And something that I kind of saw on social media couple of days ago. I can't remember what artist posted it, but he basically said, if you don't want to cheat, and it's funny because I'm about to kind of flip this a little bit, but he said, if you don't want to cheat on your girl, get off social media, post what you got to post and go. I can't remember who said it, but
It
from
was young.
See, that's why I got you on, Young Blue. Blue Van, shout out to him, man. Blue Vandross. He actually tough too. But so what? How I'm gonna say it, how I'm gonna flip it is, if you don't want to cheat yourself, cheat your progress, get off of social media. Stop comparing yourself. Post and go. Post what you got to do and go. Don't post your page. Don't post your products. Don't post your services, videos, whatever you got going on, and then go looking at other people. Well, how many likes did she get? How many likes did he get? Were people comment on him? Who shared my stuff? Like who this and that? I'm not gonna lie. Like I've probably missed people who have shared my stuff. Like it's no intention, it's no love lost, anything like that. It just happened. But I'm not necessarily looking for that. Like when you can click the analytics and the insights and see, how much your post was sent and different things like that. Yes, it would be very nice, to know who did it, where they were, just from the respect of not even to be nosy, but just so I can know who's supporting. Yeah, absolutely. But for me, it's just like I'm not posting my podcast episode and comparing it to other episodes. I'm not posting my podcast episode and comparing it to other podcasts. I'm not posting one brand and comparing it to another. I'm recognizing that everybody, is unique in their own way. If that was the case, I would only bring on one person for each brand. And I feel like this podcast would definitely end a lot quicker. We going? I'm trying to hit 1,000 episodes, y'all. Y'all, I ain't gonna say hold me to that because that's a lot of episodes. But all I'm really, yeah, we definitely gonna do it. We gonna make it happen somehow, some way. But what that really is saying is that look, you don't have to worry about what everybody else has going on. It's you. I feel like the more time you spend, trying to compare, trying to one up, it shows that you're really not genuine with it. You're really not authentic with it. You're really only doing this, to be at the top, to top somebody else, to, make an impression. No, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So however you make that first impression on people, just let it stick. But at the end of the day, if you can always say, wake up and go to sleep and say, look, I did what I had to do today. I was me. I didn't compromise my morals, my values, nothing like that. I really gave my business my all. You should be okay with that. Like it's nothing. It's just because y'all are both selling shades, or y'all are both podcasting or different things like that, and they went viral before you, or they got a sponsorship before you, they got more sales before you. That doesn't make you any less of a great business owner, of a great podcaster, of a great entrepreneur. It's the process. It's how things are supposed to go, because I promise you, they're not showing the behind the scenes. Nobody is really showing the behind the scenes. Nobody is showing the trench work. Nobody is showing what it really takes, to get in position. But everybody is just glorifying the come up. Everybody is just acting like nobody can struggle. Nobody really had it. You don't know what it took for that person to go viral. You don't know how many emails they sent. You don't know if they were working harder than you, genuinely. You really don't know that. You only know, what you're posting, what you're seeing. So I definitely think that social media can be a deterrent to people, but I'm here to tell you, don't let it. Yes, it's very powerful, it's very entertaining, it's very amusing, however you use it. But you shouldn't, be looking at other brands and be looking at other people for comparison, but more so for inspiration. More so, what can I, what can I do to be like them? Like I look at other podcasts, not what can I do to be like them, but what can I do to achieve success? I look
Or
at
even
other.
what works for them and see how that can work for you, or what's not working for them and what is working for you. Like too many people go on Instagram and they want something because they see somebody else with it, or they think that's what they should have, or they go after things not for themselves, just to solely impress other people, and end up not even truly being happy with who they are. Like, there's nothing wrong with, you have competition out there. Everybody that has a business has some type of competition. But at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do for your business and still lift that person up in the process. Like you were saying, it's enough money out here for everybody.
That's a fact. The sooner we realize that, man, the sooner we get to the top, for sure, for sure. So you kind of spoke about, being in the fashion space. You kind of even spoke about, the fitness space and just wanting to adopt, new services, just get into new areas with Ask Syd. So is there anything, within the coming year, within maybe even the coming months, or maybe just even long term, thinking a little bit later down the line, any area of expertise or anything that you really want to do with your business that people should expect or people can look forward to?
Yes, so I'm definitely going to add the fitness program. I'm just very, like I said, I'm just very picky. And then I was on vacation, so that kind of delayed it a little bit. But I already worked on it. I already recorded it. It's just having to put the format together. That'll be done. I hope, hopefully by the end of this month or the end of next month, because I definitely want to offer like challenges and work out with people. But my whole thing with the fitness program is I really want to make a safe space for mostly just women to work out, to feel comfortable, to, create like a group message and we talk about our daily struggles. Cause I know for me, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym, and somebody else might have to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and they don't go to work out till 8 o'clock. And it's a struggle no matter if you're getting up at 6, if you're going to the gym at 8 at night or 10 at night. Like, you dealing with some type of struggle. It's a mind thing. So I really want to create like a platform where, we can all come together and talk about it or share secrets and, just put each other on. So that I'm still trying to work out the kinks on. But as far as Ask Syd, I will be offering like styling services, consultations as far as like how people can get their brand moving forward or marketing on social media management, creating tech packs, which is like, say you wanted to design something and you have to send it to a factory first, creating like tech packs like that. Oh, also offering like notary services, registering their EIN numbers, just all across the board, like how to somebody start their business and how they keep it going.
A one-stop shop. So I hope y'all listen, and I hope y'all take advantage of the services, because it's only gonna get better. It's only things are only gonna expand. Things are only gonna move forward. Whether she stays picky or not, she gonna make it happen. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad thing to be picky, because sometimes you just can't put out any and everything. Sometimes you got to be a little concise with things. You got to be a little strategic and manipulative. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I definitely do want to encourage all my listeners, all my followers, everybody who's engaged with us to tap in. So we definitely gonna make sure we get the social media and stuff out there before we wrap up. But definitely just to tap in, because as you can tell, this is not a money thing. This is not a money game. Yes, as we both spoke about and agreed on, it's a lot out here. But as she spoke about from the beginning until now, it was never about that. It was more so I feel like a lot of why the motivation as to why she came into business was just from hearing the reviews and the testimonials and others, just really hearing that, like, okay, it's one thing, to hop. If you ask me offline, but obviously I'm online right now. But if you ask me that, are you the best to ever do it? No, I'm the best to ever do it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna speak that into existence. Because I just know, when I hit this mic, when I unmute the mic, I'm in a different zone. Like, I'm having fun. It doesn't matter who's on the other side. You're gonna get the best out of me every single time. But when other people, recognize more in you, and see further for you, or really just have bigger dreams, and really want you to succeed, it's just a different feeling when you're able to get that from them. It like I tell everybody who gives me feedback or anything in any type of way, it keeps me humble, good, bad, and different. It really just keeps me humble. It really just keeps me going. One that you even took the time to tap in. That's enough for me. That's all I need. It's a lot of gratitude. So no, I'm definitely really excited for everything. That you're.
Especially when like people come to me based off of the fact that they know I went to fashion school. They don't even know what I solely went there for, because my first college was for design and then I left. But like I've had friends that was like, "Oh yeah, didn't you go to fashion school? Well, can you help me out with this?" Or like I'll be tailoring their clothes or designing something for them. And what really pushed me to start Exit is like I had a situation where somebody reached out to me to design something for them, and we spoke money, and I wasn't getting paid what we agreed upon. So, like I said, it didn't start off with money because I wasn't even going to start this business. It really got to the point where everybody was just like, yo, can't you do this? Don't you know how to do that? Or what do you think of this? Even just ask me my opinion. And I'm like, okay, I could really make like a consultation business out of this. And because I like being creative more than I like working with numbers, I can be both in the fashion industry and do both of the things that I like to do.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. And when you're doing something that you like to do, man, it's up from there. It's really just up. You're really just having fun with it. It's really just, a day in the life. So something that I think about just in listening to you talk, just in listening to, other business owners and entrepreneurs, is really just motivation. Is really just inspiration. So kind of going to put you on the spot a little bit. It's something I like to do. So I hope you're ready for it. If you're not, well, we're going to make it happen either way. But just looking at you, looking at your expertise, looking at your areas of involvement, what is
Hmm.
a brand out there, that you derive a lot of inspiration from? Now, whether it's fashion, whether it's fitness, whether, personal brand, somebody else that you may even know, what is a brand, that you really look at and would maybe even, consider working with, or something that you look at for different just ideas, or things that you may even want to implement in your own brand moving forward?
Mm. Well, I'm very big on Black owned businesses, especially in the fashion industry, because I feel like for so many years, not even for so many years, even currently, Black designers get their creativity stolen from bigger companies, and that's unfair. But I also like people that put forth the culture and still emulate it and, still make it a big thing, like I'm Black and I'm proud type of thing. So with that being said, I really love Pierre Moss. He's a designer and he also designs for Reebok. I love him and all his like capsules that he comes out with every year. He's very big on like a I'm black and I'm proud type of movement. And another one, I really like this designer. Her name is Nicole Lionel. And I just like her because she's more so like girly, but she creates like a lifestyle with her clothes. Like, sometimes people take pictures of their items and it's just on a mannequin, but like she puts together a whole day of how to wear it or go outside walking. Like she's not just in the studio wearing her outfit that she sells. So I really like that. Like I like things that tell a story.
Oh yeah, I love a good story. So no, I appreciate that. You just put me on somebody new. I'm gonna look her up when we hop off of this interview. So before we wrap things up,
Mhm.
is there anything that you feel like we haven't touched on today? Whether it just be about you personally, whether it just be about Ask Syd, whether it just be about your plans for the future and everything out there, or maybe even just a word on top of the gems that you already gave, a word to the wise, for other business owners, entrepreneurs, and creatives out there, that you want to leave us with.
I actually do want to talk about something. It's not necessarily about entrepreneurship, but it's about you and I as young black people, pursuing our dreams. Now, I don't know if you remember, because I honestly forgot, but you spoke on it when you were introducing me how me and you grew up together. And when I told my mom I was going to be on a podcast, and she was like, "With who?" And I said, "Oh, some guy I grew up with, Tamar Turner." And she was like, "You mean the one you went to preschool with?" And I'm like, "Huh? what you mean?" And she like, "Yeah." So she pulled out the preschool picture, and I'm like, "Yo, yes, I remember this." And the funny story I have about that, because I remember, this is going to sound crazy, but I honestly remember when you were coming to the preschool that I was at. I don't remember if I was 4 or if I was 5 and I was about to leave and go to kindergarten, but at the time, I was like the favorite in the preschool. I was the smartest, the brightest, all the teachers loved me. And when you came, they was like, "Oh," like the teachers, I remember them saying this, like, "Oh, Syd, you gotta be careful because tomorrow really smart. Like, he gonna give you a run for your money. You gotta be careful. You got like some competition." And 20, 21 years later, I just think it's so funny how teachers were able to see that in you and I and where we are today, and how we like they knew we were very smart and bright and had like a big future, even though at 4 and 5 we might have not been imagining that for ourselves. And I just think it's crazy how all of that comes into fruition, and we're out here on our grind trying to create a name for ourselves. And especially as young black people who don't get acknowledged as much. And so I really just wanted the kudos to you as well, even though you asked me on your podcast, for everything that you're doing. And I just want you to continue to hustle and grind as well.
Hey, what? Yo, hold on. That's so crazy. I remember preschool. Definitely don't remember that though. Like that moment, no, I don't. That's wild though. Like I never, now that I think about it though, I feel like, and it's not me just talking for the podcast, I feel like I remember us, being in preschool. Because I feel like my first time really wasn't meeting you, wasn't on some like middle school, like, high
No,
school, Oak Lane type thing. And that's what,
I had,
yeah.
but I don't remember how we reconnected years later. Like I don't even, because like we didn't go to the same high school, we didn't go to the same middle school, we didn't go to the same college. I don't know how any of that happened.
I think it's just an up top thing. Up top, we just different. We just got
I
that.
don't live up top, but okay.
Well, not no. Well, you ain't live up top growing up though?
No, I'm from Alney.
Well, it depends who you ask. That's up. Some people claim it up top, but no, but no. Well, first you definitely got to send me that picture. But no, it's shout out to parents for always having the archives though. Like that's just crazy.
Right.
But no, you spoke to a good point just about people seeing things in us that we necessarily sometimes can't even, well, obviously at that age we couldn't decipher that in ourselves, but people just seeing potential in us, whether it be teachers, friends, family, sometimes even strangers. Like I've had people reach out to me just on the hum and say, "Yo, like that was a really dope interview, really dope business, like love what you're doing, bro, like keep it going." People reach out to me from afar and different things like that. But that's just crazy, like you said, especially us being young black people in this space, just everything that we going on, just the different things that we have to combat on a daily basis. I was even talking to one of my boys couple of days ago just about life expectancy, how our life expectancy as African Americans is just so low, and
So
how it's just like we look at ages like 30, 40. and think that's old. To me, that's not old. Like, but you look at people like that, and that's old. That's a blessing. Like, yeah, it's definitely a blessing, but that's by no means is that old. I'm thinking like 80, 90.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's old. You feel me? But it's just like just everything that we have to constantly battle and go through and work our way through and everything like that. I was always told, as an African American male, you got two strikes against you already before you even walk in the
already.
door. So it's just like it's
And that's
crazy.
terrible. Like people really don't understand what black people have to go through on a day-to-day basis and kind of just brush it off like, oh, someone that's not black would think, oh, they got it just as hard. And it's like the odds is already set against us. Like, nothing is just handed to us. Like we all have to work just as hard plus 10 times more to just be in the same room as some people, in almost any industry at that. Like, and still even when we're as qualified to be in that industry, they still look at us like we're not.
That's a message. And that's to all my, and I think that should serve as, motivation to everybody out there, especially my minorities. Just keep going. Like, as hard as
Mhm.
you feel like, you working, as much adversity as you feel like you facing, as much as the storms just seem never ending. It's always light at the end of the tunnel. Sun is always going to shine at the end of the day. So yeah, but that's definitely, I do appreciate you, Sid, not only for, bringing up that memory and everything like that, but spreading that message and spreading that love. But that's still so crazy. I was sitting there as you was telling that story, like, hold up. Once you drop preschool, I said, hold on. But it's just like, yeah, like, and even in, not even to brag like on myself or anything like that, but I remember specifically my favorite teacher of all time, my third grade teacher, Mrs. Holmes, when I was at Pennypacker. She told me to get out of this, like get out of school, like get out of here, like don't. You're better than this. Like
Yeah.
you passing everything, you making it happen. And at the moment, I didn't really understand. Like I understood that, okay, you think I'm smart, like and to me,
Right.
I'm just coming to school, like I'm just doing what I do, but I'm worried about my friends and different things like that. But some things, it makes so much sense now down the line how I just didn't need to be in certain environments around certain people. And so I not only think, the administrators and the educators in my life, but I think the family, I think the older role models who saw better for me when I couldn't necessarily always see it for myself, because I was just young, naive, trying to have fun and everything like that. But as much as you want to spread love and kudos to me, I definitely want to echo that right back to you. And definitely, I love what you're doing. I love the feature that you had in the article. I love that you took advantage of that opportunity and made it happen. But I also love, that you're picky. I love that you kind of said that, just because I think I think that says a lot about you. I think that says that you're not just going to put anything out there. You're going to make sure that it's of quality, that other people can relate to it, resonate with it, use it, utilize it, pass it on, and then take a service from it, take something from it. You're not just going to throw something out there just because. So no, definitely want to extend not only my hand, but if there's anything that I could do after this podcast, in the meantime, in between time, definitely let me know. We obviously going to still stay locked in, but I'm excited. I'm excited, to see you get in different spaces, offer different services. I'm excited for link ups to happen, whether they come, in Philly and New York, whether they come with my followers along like the North Carolina, DMV areas, and even some down here in Florida. So I really do thank you, not only for, coming on here, shedding some light on what you do and what it is that you have to offer, but, just giving somebody some motivation, just telling somebody out there that may be going through the same things that you're going, that may be feeling the same way that you're feeling, to, hey, keep going, that it's light at the end of the tunnel, that anything is absolutely possible. So before
Absolutely.
we officially, yeah, absolutely. Before we officially close out, for everybody out there, just looking to get in contact with you, looking to utilize some of your services, and maybe even looking to collaborate with you, can you just tell us where we can find you on social media?
Yes. So my Instagram name is Syd Charisse with the underscore. That's SYDCHARISSE underscore. It's the same on Twitter. It's the same on TikTok. Facebook is Sydney Charisse Renrick, RENWRICK. And I'm even open to emails, and my email is on my Instagram.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna make sure I definitely put all of that in the bio so y'all can get the spelling right. Y'all can reach out on whatever platform is suitable for y'all. I'm not on TikTok. Obviously, she is, but I heard TikTok be going crazy, so I might have to move over there. Now I'm probably just
TikTok is so much fun. Like
early.
I learned so much from TikTok besides it being like so funny. But it's so like people just go on there and tell you about side hustles. They tell you about shopping deals and just it's so many things you can learn on there. Like it's like I'm about to go to Houston in a few weeks and I'm on there researching like places to go. Like you could use it for anything. I love it.
Houston is lit. You definitely got to check out a place called Camp with a K. Camp Houston. It was a vibe there. It was definitely a vibe there. So
Okay, I'm gonna
yeah.
look at
All
that
right,
because
man. You gotta let me know. Yeah, yeah. So y'all, I don't know. I might just be talking for the pod. I'm definitely not getting on TikTok though. I'm gonna tell y'all that for sure. I'm gonna live through y'all. I
you
see
could do your
y'all.
podcast on TikTok. That's a marketing strategy. You could show them, like, you could go in there and set up your mic and your laptop and everything, and be like, this is a day in the life of my podcast, and then you could put your merch on there, and yeah, you could really, no, we're gonna set that up.
All right, so she obviously I got somebody holding me to it, y'all. So we gonna make it happen. So if you see your boy on TikTok, and I told you, I'll never be on TikTok, just overlook it. Just follow me. Just know that it's bigger than me. It's for the podcast. So
Yeah, it's for the podcast.
you know,
It's not your personal account.
yeah, you ain't gonna be seeing me hit no dances on there for sure. So nah, I definitely do.
Stop acting like cues don't be dancing.
We do. Just I better not catch no bros on TikTok. That's all I'm gonna say to that one. But nah, on a serious note, I definitely do thank you. I definitely do wish you, the best of luck with everything that you got going on. I want to, give a big shout out to everybody out there who continuously listens, shows love for your people who are gonna tap into this episode. I definitely do hope, they were able to take a deeper dive into, just the mind of you and everything that you have going on and what you're looking forward to do. So to everybody out there who continues to listen, continues to support, I love you. I thank you. This has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast with Tamar Turner.